So we're going to start by getting some water in our sponge, placing it down on the center of the wheel, and running it out to the side. You want the wheel head to be wet, but you don't want a big puddle of water there. We're going to take our clay, line it up in the center, raise it above your head, and throw it. You want it to be nice and stuck in place. Moving forward, we want to make sure we keep lots of water on that clay so it's slick and glossy. We don't want it to dry out. If it starts to dry out, just immediately add more water. We're going to add water in between every single step. So we're going to start by turning that wheel all the way up, throwing some water on there. Swing your left elbow in so it connects to your hip or your leg. Brace with that hand, and you're going to push forward into your right hand. Push between both hands until that clay starts to squeeze up and out, and then chase it right up off the top. That's called coning up, and that's the first step. Once you coned up, we're going to add water. Wrap your hands around the top of the clay. Close your thumbs so there's no gaps. That's a gap. We don't want that. Close, no gaps. Tilt the clay forward and push straight down. That's coning down. So we're going to cone up and down 3 times each. So coning up. And coning down. Coning up. And coning down. When you're coning up, even if you don't feel that clay moving, you want to keep your hands moving, because if they linger in one spot for too long, the clay will dry out and you'll tear it in half. All right, once you've coned up and down 3 times, we're going to move on to the cradle and compress. Wrap your pinky on your left hand around the bottom of the clay, thumb up and over the top. Your right hand is going to come straight down on top of the clay. Pinky knuckles dead center. This hand's pushing down, this hand's pushing forward. Even pressure between both hands, very fast on the wheel, lots of water. What we're trying to do is get that clay to take a nice uniform shape in the middle of the wheel. And that's centered. So that's what we're looking for, something that's nice and centered. If it's got a little wobble to it, it is not centered. So we're going to apply even pressure from the left hand and the right hand until it takes that centered shape. Make sure you add water the whole time. It's going to dry out pretty fast. All right, so once it's centered, we're going to open the pot up. We're going to place our left hand back on that side to cradle that clay. You're not pushing this time, now you're just holding. Your right hand is going to sit right up on top. Middle finger leads. You're going to push down and then scoop towards the root of your palm. Come back in and compress the base of your pot. Apply a little bit of pressure to the right hand corner and then draw that pressure into the center. We're going to do that 3 times. That's twice. A little bit of pressure on the right hand side. Draw it right into the center. That's the 3rd time. All right, so now we got it opened up. We're going to apply some water. Lock your thumbs together. Middle fingers or pointer fingers or both. Your left hand is going to be on the inside of the pot, right at that bottom corner. And your right hand is going to be opposited on the outside wall. At this point, we're going to slow the wheel down just a little bit. Apply a pinch nice and low. And then slow and steady, draw that pinch right up the wall. When you start getting close to the rim, you want to ease off of that pressure so you don't come snapping off the top. And then right about here, just break away. Add water, hold the rim with your left hand, compress it with your right pointer finger. At this point, we're just going to alternate between adding water, pulling the walls up, and compressing the rim. The goal here is to get the walls nice and even first, and then we're going to shape the pot. So I think we can get one more pull out of this. I'm going to use my ring finger on my right hand to cut underneath, and then immediately shift my hand and push right into the pull. At this stage, we can start to shape the pot. We can either collar it in by curling our pointer fingers, placing them on the sides of the pot, and then applying a gentle amount of pressure and rising slow and steady up the outside. cap it off by compressing the rim. To expand the pot, you're going to reach in with your left hand and push out, up top, and then slowly lower down. So when we expand a pot, we expand from top to bottom. You can see that spot right here where my finger is pushing out, and then slowly drifting down the wall. I'm going to expand it one more time, just get a little more volume. And then we can come back, alternating between expanding and collaring to bring this in and really exaggerate those curves. Once we got the pot all set, we're going to use our sponge to soak any lingering water out of the middle. We want to make sure it's nice and dry in there. Then we're going to take our wooden knife and just use it to clean up the bottom edge. Blade facing towards the pot to clean the pot. Blade facing towards the wheel to clean the wheel. Before I take a pot off the wheel, I like to come back with the metal rib and just gently shape. So we're going to bend this rib to the curve that we want, place it against the side of the pot, gently support the inside, just bring it right up and over. It gives it that nice smooth finish. All right, to get a pot off the wheel, we're gonna grab our wire tool, flood the wheel head with water around the pot. Don't get any water back in the pot. Spool the wire up around your pointer finger and middle finger, pin it to the wheel with your thumbs, draw it once, and then twice towards yourself. Put your pointer fingers, hands palm up, pointer fingers out, scoop that pot towards the edge of the wheel. Once it's hanging off the wheel head, bring your middle fingers underneath to cradle it. When you cradle the pot, your pointer fingers should be on the side, middle fingers should be underneath, just like that. We'll just put this to the side.